What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream today. Now, everyone, the Premier League is back. The Premier League is back. June the 17th, the Premier League have announced that, games will restart again. Arsenal will be one of the first two games, but the bad news, or is it bad news? I don't know. The first game back for Arsenal, Manchester City away. Jeez, what a game that's going to be. But do you know what? This might be the best opportunity for Arsenal to play Man City because, look, if you've been watching the Bundesliga, a lot of teams are losing home games. You haven't got that advantage of having, 50, 60,000 fans there supporting you. And the atmosphere might feel a little bit flat. And, even it's not, they're not home or away games anymore, really. They're kind of just neutral games. So Arsenal might have an opportunity. Man City might not be fully fit. We might not be fully fit. But, if you look at the Bundesliga games, they seem to get progressively better as they've been going on. So you never know, man. We might catch Man City on a tough day and get the better of them. Big up everyone in the comments, everyone tuned in. Arsenal Vlog says, Curtis, I'm happy, bro. Yeah, man, we got to be happy, Ray Anderson, big up. Omar, big up Omar. What do you guys think, man? Are you happy? Do you think we can beat Man City away, or will it just be same old Arsenal? Let's get this fifth spot. I know, you know what I mean? Like, Man City probably get banned as well. Big up Taib as well. Man City are probably going to get banned. So, we got an opportunity to get fifth and maybe get in the Champions League. Big up Carol says, I Curtis, maybe it is okay for us with no Bayern fans on both sides. Yeah, exactly, man. Arsenal Vlog says City 3-1. No optimism, no. Yes, football is back again, as Troops said. Back again. Big up Troops. Big up Billy Dalton with a comment. Look, you never know. Everyone would expect Man City to beat us. Deep down, I would probably expect Man City to beat us, but this might be the best time. I would rather play Man City inside an empty stadium than, an Etihad that, well, I won't say that's full and vibrant because, a lot of the time they can't even sell out. But yeah, I think we've got more of a chance of winning it behind closed doors. It's going to be interesting because all the squads will basically have their full squads back. No real injuries. I think apart from Callum Chambers, every Arsenal player will be fit. Is Tierney back, actually? I'm not sure if Tierney's... Yeah, Tierney is back. I've seen him training. And, our atmosphere at the Emirates is not exactly the best of atmospheres. I don't think behind closed doors will make much of a difference at the Emirates. So, yeah, I'm just delighted to see football back on the 17th. So we've got about 3 weeks. And, it's going to be different. The Bundesliga games at the start, I was kind of bored. I'm not going to lie. I was watching the first few games. I was bored without the fans. But, in the second round of games, I kind of got used to it. I watched that Bayern Munich Dortmund game. Was that last night? The standard was good. I thought Bayern Munich were really good. Dortmund were good. They were unfortunate. But, when you're watching Premier League games and Arsenal are playing, you'll have more enthusiasm to watch that. Good point there. Carol saying, Spurs away without their fans. I mean, can you imagine? Their fans would have been baying for our blood this year. I think the first time we would have played them at their new stadium. So an empty ground, that can help us as well. Yaz says, hi, Curtis. Are Arsenal fans mostly null and voiders? That's a good question, I mean, me personally, I was kind of that opinion a few weeks ago. I do think things have improved. You've just seen, I don't know if you've just seen, Boris Johnson has just said that people in the UK can now visit their family as long as they keep 2 meters apart. You can sit in the garden, you can have a barbecue, whatever. So things are starting to relax here. But I think in general, Arsenal fans want to see Arsenal play. I'm sure if we go to Man City and get beat 4-0, we'll be sitting there thinking we should have just null and voided it, man. We don't need this. But you never know. You never know, do you? Big up Max Carroll as well, always supporting. Tony says, can see it being a draw. I'll take a draw, let's be honest. Armand says, good content, respect. Let's have a look what else you guys are saying. Armand says, Curtis, thoughts on the away kit leaked for next season? Do you know what? Sometimes I don't take too much notice of the leaks, but it seems over the past few years that these leaks have been very close to what the kit's been. They're saying the away kit's going to be like a white kit with the maroon Adidas stripes, but it's got like all patterns over it, like almost paintwork, like splashes of maroon on it. It looks okay. It's vibrant. To me, look, we had unbelievable kits this year, but our team was rubbish. And over the years, we've been successful in kits that weren't that great. I'd rather see a great team on the pitch. But yeah, Official J, are you still going to do AFTV show where the fans can call in? I believe so. I think they will live stream the Premier League games when they start back. Sorry. And then it says, but is the null and void because of the health reasons, or Arsenal want to be in the Champions League position based on last season's position? Very good question, because there were rumours that, if it was null and voided, they would have gone off where we finished last season. That would have got us fifth. And, with Man City being banned, fifth may have got us in the Champions League. So, for me, let's forget all that now. Football's going to come back. Let's hope that the infection rate continues to drop and goes. And, hopefully Arsenal can win some games. But we got some tough fixtures, man. Real tough fixtures. Let's have a look. Chris, UK, Reefer Bryant. Yes, Curtis, hope you're well, keeping safe. What's your chat? Only just on here. Talk to me. I find it convenient when the in-hand games are first. So if it doesn't work, it's done. Do you know what? That's a very good point, because someone else said that to me as well. That, if they play the game in hands and then the infection rate rises, they can say, all right, we'll end it now because you're all on the equal amount of games. So that may give them that opportunity. Big up Billy Dalton here with this comment. Your thoughts on Sir Chips Cheswick, our chairman, retiring? I mean, look, the guy's an old man. I don't know him personally, but listen, this guy, for me, I did not appreciate him as Arsenal chairman. If you don't know much about Chips Keswick, he made a comment a couple of years ago where he said that horse racing meant more to him than football. Now, if you're the chairman of Arsenal Football Club, we don't want to hear that comment. Now, football doesn't have to be your most important sport in your life. It doesn't have to be your number one, even if you are the chairman. But listen, don't say that publicly. We don't want to hear that. We're fighting to recover and get back in the top four and win the Champions League. You're talking about horse racing. So for me, good riddance. He's retired. If you watch my content, you'll know that for me, Stan Kroenke, Josh Kroenke, all them guys, I want all of them out of the club. We need new owners. I'm envious of the fact that Newcastle are getting, these Saudi owners, because these guys, when they buy football clubs, they don't mess about. They're buying the football club to be successful, to buy big players, to create this big thing like Manchester City have done. So, Chips Keswick, man, good riddance to him, in my opinion. I don't wish any harm on the guy, but, as chairman, the guy's a joke, and I've got no respect for him. And this board, for me, in general, need to go. Let's have a look. The Assembled said, the whole board is a joke. Don't worry what they say. For real, man, I don't rate these guys. Max Carroll says, what game do we have after Man City? I believe it is it's Brighton away. And then I think we've got Sheffield United in the FA Cup. Vibe said, hey Curtis, bro, big respect with regularly putting out great streams and keeping us all informed. Big up, man. I always appreciate the support. Without the support, what can you do? You make a channel. If people don't support it, the channel can't be successful. Obviously, I hope it grows bigger and bigger, but, it's nice when it's at this stage, because you recognize, the people in the chat and the comments, and you can keep interacting. Let's have a look here as well. Ray Anderson said, Partey is what we need, but not only him. He'd be a good start, though. He'd be a good start, and it sounds like he wants to join, but, I'm reading that Atletico Madrid are in debt. They built a new stadium a few years ago. It was part of the reason they sold Antoine Griezmann, and they need finances. Are Arsenal going to drop the 45 million release clause for Partey? They're not going to take, some stupid buy now, pay later deal. They're going to want the majority of that money up front. Let's have a look. Cheers for the last response. What's your thoughts on the Luiz contract? I did a show today on AFTV, Talk is Cheap with Laurie. Go and have a look at that. For me, David Luiz, look, he's not a superstar. As I said, I don't think we should be building our defense around the guy because he's not exactly what we need, is he? We need better than that. But at the moment, he's probably the best of what we've got. I believe David Luiz is our best centre-back. He's the best ball player at the club. He's a leader. And, you've got young players like Saliba coming in, Rob Holding coming back from a long-term injury. And, you need experience now. David Luiz for one more year, for me as a squad player, I don't think he's a bad option. We have to be honest. He's better than Socrates. I think he's better than Mustafi. Pablo Mari, I can't make a judgment. I haven't seen enough of him. So I would keep Luiz. Big up John, man. Always supporting. Watching all the way from Kenya, bro. Love your content. Big up John. Always supporting. Finally, today I got you live. Yeah, man. I think, you have to hit the notification bell. I think, a lot of people, even if you subscribe to the channel, sometimes when I go live, it doesn't notify you for some reason. I think you have to hit the notification bell. So maybe do that. That could help. Max Carroll says, Curtis, if you could sign 3 players realistically and get rid of 3, who would it be? The 3 I would sign realistically, I would take Thomas Partey because 45 million to me is not unrealistic. We should be able to pay that. I would sign Philip Coutinho. I think we could get him on loan if we was willing to pay a big loan fee and pay most of his wages. So I'd take Coutinho. The third one would be, I'd say Upamecano. I think that's a little bit unrealistic. No, now I'm reading a lot of things that, he wants to stay in Germany and Bayern Munich want him. So maybe he'll be difficult to get. I think we need a centre-back, but I'm not too sure who the centre-back would be. It's a difficult one, but I'll say Upamecano, just, while there's hope here. So Partey, Coutinho, Upamecano. What a summer that would be. But not likely with Arsenal. Babu O said, good content always. Of the 3 loanies, who should we sign on a permanent? Ceballos would have to be cheap to get him. I wouldn't be paying 30 million plus for him, even though I think he's decent. I don't think he's done enough. Pablo Mari, I think they'll give him a chance. And Cedric Suarez, I'm not sure about him. I would probably go with Pablo Mari. I'll give him a chance. Left-footed. I just worry about his lack of pace in the Premier League. Ray Anderson says, Luiz, I would sign up, get Ake, sell Mustafi and Socrates, Holding and Mavropanos. I do like Nathan Ake. I do like him. That's a good shout, actually. Let's have a look what else. Ty Anthony said, do you think the mentality of the club will ever change? We are keeping players like Xhaka based on emotion and not performance. You know what? That's a brilliant comment because for me, players like Granit Xhaka, he seems to have such a big fan base, Granit Xhaka. I don't understand it. The guy, I mean, forget the fact that, he stuck his finger up at the fans. The guy is not a particularly good player. Yeah, he's very passionate. Sometimes he puts in a good performance, but the consistency is not there. So, yeah, Ty Anthony, big up for that comment because a lot of players, man, they seem to keep at Arsenal, maybe because they've been at the club for a few years or they're passionate. We need better. We need better. Get rid of these players. I understand this isn't like playing Football Manager on your laptop. You can't just sell 8 or 9 players in one window. Somebody has to want to buy them and pay their wages. But get rid of these players, man. Let's have a look. Neil Lewis says, before David Luiz, our standing in the league was better. I can't believe we have a debate about a Chelsea reject. Bro, that's where we are. We have to be honest. This is where we are right now. David Luiz is our best centre-back, in my opinion. Unless, Pablo Mari is better, but I haven't seen enough of him. This is where we are. I'm not saying keep him and start him every week. What I am saying is, you're bringing in young players. You do need experience. And I think he's the best of the experienced players. Certainly better than Socrates. Big up John again. John saying, who will you prefer between Niles or Hector? I've said before, I would cash in on Hector Bellerin. If teams were genuinely inquiring and saying, look, we'll give you 30, 40 million for him, I would go and get Max Aarons or Nelson Semedo. Norwich are bottom of the league. There's a very high possibility they'll go down. Max Aarons, 25, 20 million. Better than Bellerin at the moment for me. But Hector's had a long-term injury. Maybe they'll give him another year. Kevin Mark says, big up Curtis. Respect, man. Always appreciate the support from all of you. Chris says, what's your Aubameyang replacement if, and I mean if he has to go? Well, first of all, do our best to keep him, first of all. The replacement for me, it's very difficult. I really don't see a replacement out there that's realistic for us to get. Timo Werner would be great. Can we get Timo Werner? I don't think so. They're talking about, Edouard, is it, at Celtic? These guys don't excite me. I don't know. I'm not sure. Do you play Lacazette through the middle and buy a new winger and play like Liverpool where your wingers are scoring the goals and your striker is more of the link man? I'm not sure. I honestly can't give you a name. I would possibly just go with Lacazette and play. I actually think Martinelli can be a striker. I really do. I've watched him play a number of times now. He doesn't necessarily play like a winger to me. I think he can play through the middle. I don't see an obvious replacement out there in terms of strikers. I really can't. I would love to see a winger come in, maybe a goal-scoring winger. Let's have a look. Miguel said, you're one of the people I really love to see move back to the Caribbean. After 30 years in the US, if we can bring in Partey, Nathan Ake, Coutinho, and Edouard, or the Canadian centre-forward. Well, I would definitely like Partey, Coutinho, Nathan Ake. Someone just said that I would take him. Luiz says, we need better than David Luiz. Time to move on. I mean, I totally agree with your point. And I've said this, we do need better than David Luiz. But in the pecking order right now of our centre-backs, for me, David Luiz is at the top. So if we need to sell David Luiz, we need to sell Socrates. We need to sell Mustafi. We need to sell, Mavropanos when he comes back off loan. So I totally agree with that point. I'm not here saying David Luiz is a top centre-half, but I think he's better than what we've got. Money Green said, sell Bellerin, Mustafi, Socrates, and Kolasinac and give Aubameyang $350 a week. I would do every one of them. But I think the club want to keep Bellerin, man. He had a long injury. He was teammates with Mikel Arteta. I don't think Arteta wants him to go. Carol says, nobody will be coming until this season finishes and the window opens. So it all depends on how we perform before anything can be assessed. Great point, Carol. I mean, I think Aubameyang is probably sitting there going, let's see if we get in the Champions League, because, it's very difficult for him to commit his future when you're not sure what competition Arsenal will be in, Arsenal might not even be in the Europa League. Never mind the Champions League. Let's have a look. Max says, before Arteta joined, you said you would prefer someone with more experience. Are you happy now that we took him? I'm in support of him. I've seen positives. I think he's definitely trying to steer us in the right direction. There are things that I still worry about why we gave Arteta the job. I do think maybe the club wanted somebody that was easier to control and cheaper. But yeah, I'm in full support of him. At the time, I was calling for Mourinho. I know a lot of people disagreed with that. But Arteta's here, and I hope he does brilliant for us now. So let's see. Raphael said, Curtis, props on the content and consistency. I appreciate that, man. He said, do you think Arsenal's group of players will thrive without the pressure of the crowds or falter somewhat? I think they'll probably do better without the fans there, because a lot of these players, to me, don't seem like they can deal with the pressure. So maybe they'll feel more relaxed in an empty stadium. But we've got difficult games. John says, do you think we'll ever get Zaha? I don't. I've said a number of times I really wanted Arsenal to sign Zaha last summer. I'm glad we got Pepe. I probably wanted Zaha more than Pepe, if I'm honest. I think he would have adjusted quicker. But no, I think that boat sailed, unfortunately. Official JK, Umtiti is more realistic, but injuries is not what we need. Yeah, the problem with Umtiti, man, a lot of muscle injuries as well. And big wages. I think we could probably get him. I think you're right. But I can't see Arsenal going for him. Marco Sousa, Lacazette turned 29 today. We need to get decent money for him whilst we still can. I think a lot will depend on what happens with Aubameyang. If Aubameyang goes, I think they'll want to keep hold of Lacazette. If Aubameyang signs a new deal, I think they would possibly look to shift Lacazette and try and get some money for him. Let's have a look. Ovi said, I think the hesitancy with the Luiz wage, he probably earns more than Murray, Holding and Chambers combined. Continue the good job, Curtis. Big up, man. And you're right. I said this yesterday, David Luiz earns 120 grand a week. And I think the club are probably thinking, we need to cut the wage bill. There's no guarantees that you can get rid of the likes of Socrates. Clubs may not want them. They're probably thinking, with David Luiz, he's out of contract. Just let him go. Just let him go now. It was a 1-year short-term fix. Miguel says, Curtis, love your show. Everton Suarez is ridiculous. I saw him in the Copa America. He started and all the stars, Richarlison, Willian, Douglas Costa on the bench was the most outstanding player. I remember we were linked with him before we signed Nicolas Pepe. I haven't really heard much about him since the start of the season. But you're saying there he's been brilliant. I don't see Arsenal going for a winger, unfortunately, although I would like another winger because I don't think Aubameyang should be playing on the left. D Solo 2009, I think Arteta will keep Bellerin. Totally agree. What's all this hate about Lacazette, who's on form before the lockdown? I mean, he just started to score a couple of goals. I think the problem, bro, is, what he was doing before he scored them couple of goals. Didn't he go like 9 games without scoring? And I think that's the problem. You look at go and look at Lacazette's record away from home. It is not pretty to read, I'm telling you. Where do you guys think Arsenal can finish this season, man? I'm just looking at the fixtures here. We've got Wolves away, Leicester at home, Tottenham away, Liverpool at home. They're pretty much the hardest games. Manchester City away. The home and away thing won't count as much, but just in general, can we win those games? I'm not sure. I don't know what team are gonna arrive back after all this lockdown. It'll be interesting how sharp they are. Curtis, we should sign Eze. What do you think? Is that the guy at QPR? I've heard he's a very, very good player. And I think Les Ferdinand was talking about him, saying that, he expects him maybe at the end of the season to move on, and saying he's got outstanding ability. Markson said, I'm a big fan of Xhaka and I respect your opinion and honesty, but he won't be sold. Arteta counts on him big time. We need to look for players who suit Arteta's plan, attacking mindset. I mean, tell me why you're a big fan of Xhaka. If you're still watching, if you're still watching Markson, let me know. I can see certain things about him. He's passionate. I think he puts it all on the line when he plays, but is he good enough? He gets caught on the ball a lot. I think he's too slow. I think, he gets booked a lot. He doesn't score a lot of goals. He doesn't create a lot. I don't see what he's that good at, to be honest. There's a lot of hard games. I don't see us getting the top 5. It's difficult. Do you think we can get top 4 this season, said Arsenal 49? I don't think we'll get top 4, I'll be honest. 7th realistically, says official JK. Yeah, I think about there. Ray Anderson says, wow, a fan of Xhaka. Never knew I would hear that. Look, I'll be honest, there are a lot of fans of Xhaka. There are a lot who don't like him, but there are a lot who do. Carol said they are still talking about neutral grounds for big games, such as London Derby, because of fans outside the grounds. Yeah, it's interesting that they're still talking about that, the neutral grounds. Doesn't make much difference, in my opinion. If there's no fans there, it's not really a home game. I suppose the only thing would be, the size of the pitch, maybe, and the changing rooms. Let's have a look. Xhaka's job under Arteta can be done easily by anyone. All he does is keep the ball and slot in at left back when we're on the attack to help prevent counters. I mean, I just don't think the guy's good enough. He's 35 million. I don't think he's great. Xhaka can't handle the pressure. He's shown that already. He's just a guy who doesn't perform consistently. Many times I remember, was it Man United last season? I think Aubameyang scored the penalty the week after we drew with Tottenham at Wembley. And I watched Xhaka that game. He scored in that game, and he was really good in that game. And I turned up a couple of weeks later, and he was a totally different player. And you think, what happened to that guy that played 2 weeks ago? There's no consistency. I think when you play against teams like City and Liverpool, and they press in midfield, I don't think Xhaka can cope with the intensity. And that's the problem. We've been out the top 4 since Xhaka arrived. Do the math. Sorry, him. Mustafi needs to go ASAP. Yeah, I would sell Mustafi as well. Arsenal 49 said Pepe is a baller buy, but Emery was right. Pepe hasn't lived up to the price tag. I would have preferred Ziyech for a cheaper price, but now we can't get him. Ziyech would have been a very good signing, man. I really like him. Obviously, Chelsea have got him now. For me, Xhaka is too slow. He slows our play down. I would rather play with pace. The game's all about pace. You look at City, you look at Liverpool, look how quickly the ball gets moved through midfield. You know, it's not this sideways business. You know, people talk about Xhaka's improved, you know, Mustafi's improved and this, that, the other, but they've gone from like 3 or 4 out of 10 to maybe 5 or 6 out of 10. You're still not good enough. You're still not somebody we can rely on and say, you know, we're going to go to Manchester City and Xhaka's going to dominate the midfield and bully Kevin De Bruyne and, you know, Mustafi's going to handle Aguero. And, you know, these guys are not good enough. We still need to move forward. Obviously said, Xhaka's improved recently. An energetic partner will balance out his lack of mobility. We can do better, but doubt we will this summer. I mean, I'd rather play Torreira next to a new midfielder than Xhaka. You know, maybe Partey and, you know, Torreira. Honestly, how hard is it to shine in today's Arsenal? How many would make it into the Invincibles? None of them. None of them would. Aubameyang would possibly get on the bench. The Assembled said, Xhaka is like Gilberto. You can't work out what he does, but when he's not there, something is missing. I like your thoughts, but I think you're wrong. I disagree. I think Gilberto Silva was outstanding at breaking up play. You know, I can't remember Gilberto being sent off many times and getting a lot of yellow cards. He really was excellent at breaking down the opposition's attacks. I don't think Xhaka is great at that. I get your point. When Xhaka isn't in the team, sometimes we look even worse. But is that just because the guys that are coming in are even worse than he is? Arsenal 49. Arsenal had the chance to get Kante, but we got Xhaka instead. I mean, look, I was reading something about this the other day that, you know, we walked away from that deal because Kante's agent wanted a big transfer fee, a big signing on fee, and Arsenal didn't want to pay it. I mean, that's typical of Arsenal. All right, here we go. Marcuson with his response about why he's a Xhaka fan. Xhaka's got personality, leadership, passing, respect of other players, respect of all managers. There is even a video about it. Free kick stats. We lose a lot of games without him. All right, so Xhaka. Personality, passionate, I would say. Yeah, I agree. Leadership, not really. You know, I think if you're a leader, you can't be the person making a lot of mistakes. You have to set the example. This guy doesn't set the example in the right way. You know, you swore at fans, you threw the armband on the floor. That is not leadership to me. Passing, I question that. I think he's very slow and predictable with his passing. At times, he can spray a nice little pass. At times, respectful of other players, yeah, possibly. Respectful of all managers, possibly, but I don't think he respected the manager when he threw the armband and stormed off. So, no, I disagree with that. There is even a video about it. Free kicks, I mean, his set pieces are okay. We lose a lot of games without him. Yeah, we lose a lot of games with him, though. But appreciate you, Marcuson, coming back and giving me your answer. You know, it's all about opinions. I don't agree with all of that, but fair enough, you know, about Xhaka. Rafael said, what are your thoughts on Guendouzi? I know he's young, but he seems a bit overhyped. He doesn't seem to offer much going forward. Defends poorly, gets caught in possession. I think he is a little bit overhyped. I think the fact he's a French international, people jump on him. He's more of a ball carrier. You know, he doesn't create a lot. And defensively, definitely suspect. But he's young. I think the club will persist with him. If there was enough hype and somebody wanted to pay big money for him, I wouldn't be adverse to them selling him. Let's have a look. I don't like David Luiz. He brings nothing to the team. He's overrated. Some players look good in a great team and awful in bad teams. I get you, but again, is he better than the other centre-backs? For me, he is. Hey, big up Sunny TV Arsenal, man. Always supporting. Great channel as well. Good to have you in the chat, bro. I believe you've got a show on tonight. I'm not too sure what that is, but everyone go and check that out later on. Big up, Sonny. Yeah, football's back, mate. We'll all do podcasts tonight. We're all going to celebrate, football's back, Premier League, Arsenal. But if we go to Man City and lose 4-0, we'll wish it was null and voided, man. So let's see where we are by the evening of the 17th of June, man. If Aguero's got a hat-trick and we've been slapped all over the pitch, I'm sure we won't be as happy. Reed says, would you keep Ceballos? It would have to be a very good deal. 20 million, 25 million, anything more than that, I would walk away. I think he's talented, but I'm not sure how much his game suits the Premier League. Tom Gooner said, all right, Curtis, bro, hope you're good. Hope you're good, man. Hope you're staying safe. Big up everyone in the UK and around the world. Hope you're staying safe during this COVID and following the guidelines. How is it, Curtis? Love the show. Why doesn't Arsenal have release clauses on their players, like on Martinelli, Aubameyang, Xhaka, etc.? AFC can avoid so much, especially our best players being poached. I'm not actually sure whether release clauses are legal in the Premier League officially. I know people have spoken about them at times. I'm not sure if they're legally binding in England. I know they do them in Spain. Big up Omar. He said, first 5 out the door for you, Curtis. Boy, I need 8 or 9 out the door, bro. But listen, first 5, Socrates goes for me. I really don't rate that guy. Mustafi goes, year left on his deal. I wouldn't let him run down his contract and go for free, and I definitely wouldn't extend it, so he would go. Granit Xhaka goes for me, because I think you'd get decent money for him, and I just think he's not going to get any better at Arsenal. I don't think he's the worst midfielder, but I think you'd get decent money for him, so there's 3. I would sell Kolasinac probably as well. I think you'd get half decent money for him. He's on 100 grand a week. So I'd let him go, and I would try and get rid of Mesut Ozil, but I don't think anybody would take him. His 350 grand a week holds us back. Let's have a look. Greenyman TV said, love your show. You talk sense. Aubameyang is the most important. Big up Greenyman TV. Aubameyang is the most important. To keep him, I think we're going to have to give him 300 grand a week at least. And I'm not sure the club are going to pay it. I think they may be looking at it. I believe this David Luiz situation is the warning sign for the potential problem of Aubameyang, because I think the club are thinking we need to cut this wage bill big time. And I think, David Luiz going could be the first sign of a problem with Aubameyang. I really do think that. Ray Anderson said, Guendouzi has the ability to be a great player, not world-class, though. He needs to develop. He is young. He's new to the Premier League, but, I'm not overly sold on Guendouzi, I have to admit. He's very confident. He's decent at carrying the ball, but I'm not sure. I'm not too sure. Give him time. John said, I think Arsenal are going to get Disasi because he is cheap. But yeah, I think he's being linked with a move to Watford now. Which is crazy, We're looking at players who Watford are trying to get. But yeah, I've heard good things about him. Carol said, if we lose heavily, there will be a lot of coughing and positive tests. If we do well, delighted. Oh, my days. Can you imagine? Arsenal lose and all of a sudden they say, yeah, there's 5 or 6 positive tests, man. Null and void it. We're finished. Daniel Costa says, Xhaka cannot lace Gilberto's boots. I totally agree. The guy earlier, sorry, I forgot his name, was comparing Xhaka to Gilberto, man. I can't agree. Gilberto was outstanding at Arsenal, man. He really was like the silent assassin. Let's have a look. Curtis, I'm not one to chat-ish about a player. It is what it is. I'd like to change the subject, as the 89 title anniversary was only the other day. Who's your favourite player, honestly? If you're talking about from 89... it's got to be Rocastle. I didn't really watch him play live, but, I saw a lot of videos of him. And, Kevin Campbell was telling me stories about him, about how skillful he was in training. I thought, during that 89 team, he looked like the one for me who I really enjoyed watching. overall, my favourite Arsenal player ever is Thierry Henry. And I think, Ian Wright was the person who made me really want to support Arsenal. He really, showed that personality that, a lot of these players these days have not got, that's for sure. Curtis, thanks for reading my messages. And I'm a Caribbean man like you. Big up the Caribbean. Hey, every day, man, every day. I've got Caribbean roots, Jamaica and Dominica, man. That's my countries in the Caribbean. So big up, man. Hope everyone enjoyed that Beanie Man Bounty Killer clash the other day as well, man. That was a classic. Let's have a look. Realistically, I would go for Ruben Neves, Ake, and Todd Cantwell. He's got 6 goals, 2 assists. I mean, would Ruben Neves leave Wolves to come to Arsenal? I mean, I can't believe I'm even saying that. Wolves pay big money, man. He's not going to leave there easily. Do you rate Jonathan Tah? I think he's clumsy, man. I really do. Seen him a few times. He's very slow on the turn. He is aggressive, but I'm not sure, man. No, Luiz, big up to you too. Yo, we got a real Caribbean thing going on. Thoughts on Dembele swap? Dembele for Aubameyang for me is not a good swap. The guy's had massive injury problems the last couple of years. I do rate him as a player, but that wouldn't be the ideal one for me. But you never know. If he can regain his form and stay injury-free, then maybe. Shex Money says, big up Curtis, love from Nigeria. Always love your analysis because they are spot on. EPL is back. Big up, man. Big up. Appreciate the support. Big up everyone over there in Nigeria. The Premier League is back. Something to look forward to. Something for us to watch and enjoy. Have a little bit of passion about. We've been watching the Bundesliga, but it's not the same. I have the game on, I look, and then I go away for a bit and I come back. When it's Premier League and Arsenal, I'll be sitting there for 90 minutes, man. But don't let us down on the 17th, man. Don't go to the Etihad and just get battered. Surely, man, empty stadium. You never know. Can we get a result? Markson said, my point is we need a centre-back CDM and a centre mid. Sort out your striker situation first. Then we can let Xhaka go. No problem. I'm just a fan of him and Arteta likes him. Hey, man, listen. One thing in football is all about opinions. Who am I to tell you that you're wrong for, being a fan of Xhaka? Xhaka has a lot of fans at Arsenal. I've heard a lot of Arsenal fans bigging Xhaka up. Football is all about opinions, man. Krish KR7 said, Ozil and Mickey getting out would take 500k off the wage bill. I mean, I was reading that Mkhitaryan was going to sign for Roma. Now they're talking about loaning him for another year. Terrible, man. We completely mismanaged. And you're right. 500k on 2 players that, are not doing anything, to be honest. D Solo, 3 players you think we can get, Big C? I mean, as I said before, man, I think Partey, I think he wants the move. Coutinho, I think he would be interested in the move. And then a centre-back. I would have took up a Meccano, but yeah, someone like Nathan Ake I would take. I think Tyrone Mings is decent as well. Just a solid, aggressive centre-back who's good in the air. Let's have a look. Arsenal are paying their players too much money as trying to sell them becomes a massive problem. We've been doing this for years, bro. Paying bang average players big wages, to do nothing. Big up. Good mind vibes for all you people at the moment, maybe going through difficulties, during the lockdown. This is a good friend of mine. It's his channel. He does a lot of like meditation videos and things for you to listen to and relax. We all need a little help at this time and things to help us get through. Check out the channel, Good Mind Vibes. I've also got a podcast coming out called Real Life Football Talk with a friend of mine, Francis Green, former professional footballer as well. That'll be out in the next couple of months, so look out for that. Sorry, I didn't even read your comment. He said, Ian Wright, then Thierry from Mika, as you know. Yeah, I mean, look, I think Ian Wright is probably the most natural goal scorer I've ever seen at Arsenal. He was definitely the player that made me support Arsenal. And then Thierry sort of took it to the next level. D Solo says Bergkamp changed Arsenal. He was a fantastic player, man. Incredible player. Guendouzi isn't levels. His attitude at times can be frustrating, and lack of discipline on the pitch is costly. He's a good player, but it honestly looks like he doesn't fit Arteta's system. I wouldn't be surprised if Guendouzi was sold. I mean, I know they had a big fallout in Dubai. Arteta and Guendouzi, you know, he seems to have a little bit of arrogance about him. Mr. J4J says, "Hey Curtis, I'm back now that football is coming back. I only hope none of our players do not get affected by the long layoff. Keep doing what you're doing, bro. Big up, man. Appreciate that support. It's going to be difficult. It will take time, you know, even after a few friendlies. It will take a little while for the players to feel fully fit. You know, so I wouldn't expect it to be flying straight away. Big up yourself. Amazing channel. Who gets in the top 5 this season? So I think Liverpool, we can safely say they're going to be in the top 5. They'll win it. I think Leicester will hold on. I think Manchester City will be in there 4th. If I was a betting man, I think Manchester United will get 4th. I think they've got more firepower than Chelsea. And I think, you know, I think they're better than Chelsea, if I'm honest. I think we're a little bit too far off to get 4th. But I do think we could get 5th. Neil said, I love Guendouzi and I think Arsenal is going to make a mistake. Let him go. Love Maitland-Niles as well. Yeah, possibly. You know, they need to show the right attitude. Let's have a look. Chris says, Curtis, where can I catch you more? I'm always on YouTube, but lately it's not on here too much. Yeah, just subscribe to the channel, man. Curtis Shaw TV. I'm trying to upload every 2 days, really. But, you know, if anything happens, you know, daily, definitely trying to do the streams more again. I'm planning on doing a stream tomorrow night with a guest. But I don't want to announce who it is yet. I'm just waiting for confirmation. As you've seen, I had Senderos, I had Justin Hoyt. I'm talking to a few other ex-Arsenal players about coming on as well. So, you know, just trying to get people on to keep some good content coming out. Markson said, I really appreciate your responses and honesty. That's why I'm a sub. Keep it up. Come on, you Gunners. Yeah, big up, man. Nothing wrong with having different opinions. That's what makes football so good. We are not getting top 5, truth be told. Oh, man. We got to hope, man. That's all we can do is hope. I think Guendouzi needs to get bigger. I think he has potential. I mean, look, Guendouzi's 20 years of age. He came from the French second division. It's going to take him a little while to adjust to the Premier League. I don't think he should be starting on a regular basis. You know, for me, he's a young lad. I think he's a squad player. And, you know, I think we need to take a little bit of pressure off him. Neil said, Curtis, I think 6th place is more realistic. Yeah, possibly. Daniel said, what if Aubameyang flops after we get him on big wages, just like Ozil? It's a great point. The difference is we gave Mesut Ozil a big contract at a time when, you know, he'd had a little bit of form that season. But let's be honest, had Ozil been performing for a year or so before that, you know, and Ozil is ultimately a creator, relies on the people in front of him. If people don't score his chances, he doesn't look that great. Aubameyang is scoring goals with minimal service. I don't know how this guy won the Golden Boot last season when Mesut Ozil got 2 assists last season and he's got, 2 this season? You know, so for me, I think Aubameyang is just a top-level footballer. You know, I think he's joint top scorer in the Prem this year with Vardy or maybe just behind Vardy. Golden Boot winner last season in the Premier League. And, you know, imagine if we actually start playing well and creating chances. So for me, I would give Aubameyang maybe 2 years. I still think he'll be a top player for a couple of years, man. So there's no evidence to suggest that Aubameyang is fading. So that's the difference for me in him and Ozil. Tom says, Claude said Aubameyang will stay. I mean, I hope he's right. I hope he's got a source that's giving him some news, man. Would you take Alexis back at Arsenal? Not now, man. Not now. When Alexis left, I was devastated. He was possibly my favourite winger that I'd ever seen at Arsenal. And I include Robert Pires in that. You know, Robert Pires was an invincible and a great player. But if you're just purely comparing an individual, Alexis Sanchez was absolutely on another level, man, for me personally. The guy scored 30 goals from left wing. How often do you see that? So no, but I wouldn't take him back now. Joe said, Curtis, what do you think about Sir Chips Keswick retiring as Arsenal chairman? Yeah, as I said earlier, man, I'm delighted to see him out the door. He's the Arsenal chairman, and he was talking about, he likes horse racing more than football and all this. You don't need people like that running your football club. I want a chairman with passion that talks and says, I want Arsenal to get back to the top. Chips Keswick never had that attitude, so I'm glad he's gone. And as I said before, I want all this board gone. I want Kroenke out. Hopefully we can get new owners, but it doesn't look like happening for now. So it's been a good day. The Premier League is back. Sir Chips Keswick has retired. All we need now is new contracts, man. Let's get Saka on a new contract. I did say Saka, not Xhaka. And Aubameyang, we need these guys to stay at the club. Big up everyone in the chat. Appreciate all your comments. Everyone watching this after. You guys stay safe. I'll be back tomorrow night with another stream again. Just waiting for confirmation on a guest. Everyone stay safe. We can now visit family in the UK. So go and see your family who haven't been able to stay. Big up everyone in the chat. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And like this video. And I'll be back tomorrow. Take care. Bless.